Let's welcome in the Powerhouse panel as we start on this Thursday morning. We start with attorney and Turning Point USA contributor Aaron Elmore. Project 21 National Advisory Board member Christopher Arps is here, and the host of Saturday Report and veteran, former Navy SEAL Carl Higbee, joining us on the white couch. Carl, good to see you. I'd like to show you we have a graphic basically. Yesterday, anybody bought their turkeys yet, by the way, or ordered them at least for Thanksgiving? Rachel Roller is an emphatic yes, sitting to my left.
After our story yesterday,
right.
I placed my order.
Did they make you go organic?
Rob, I'm not going to get into the details.
They made me go organic because they were sold out of the normal ones. I have to get a big bird.
It's still turkey season, Rob.
Yeah,
you can still get your own.
Can I do that? The ones that are like around my house?
You can hunt one there.
Let me show you the prices right now. And this is year over year. This is Thanksgiving over Thanksgiving. And this is going to affect a whole lot of people. 2 weeks from today is Thanksgiving. Turkey prices up 27%. Not the turkey that I bought, by the way. Up a lot more than what I paid a year ago. Pumpkin pie, all pie, prices are going up. Things like cranberry sauce are skyrocketing because they can't get the aluminum cans to put the cranberry sauce in. Carrots, potatoes, of course you make mashed potatoes, stuffing, all that stuff going way up. Inflation, I'll show you this graphic, this coming out early yesterday morning. But the inflation numbers are unbelievable. And I just want to point one quick thing out about the 6.2 inflation rate. When Donald Trump left office, look all the way back January 2021, we were at 1.4%, which is pretty average, especially considering we're in the middle of a pandemic. 6.2%, Carl, we'll start with you, is the highest we've seen since 1990. George H.W. Bush was president when it was that high. You want to hear something that's wild, though? You have to go all the way back to 1980, 10 years before that, to find inflation that high again. It was over 7% in 1980, early 1980. Right. Jimmy Carter was still president. Yeah. He didn't take the oath of, Reagan didn't take the oath of office until January 20th. So you got to go we're almost back to Jimmy Carter right now.
Right. Well, I mean, Rob, so let's say the average family, let's use a round number, $100,000. If you make $100,000 a year, if you didn't get a $7,000 raise, you're getting paid less money right now.
I mean, think about that. It's unbelievable. Chris, what's it like in the Midwest? I know you're in St. Louis.
Well, it's the same. Prices are rising. Usually Missouri has one of the lowest gas rates in the country. Gas is skyrocketing. We're also seeing in our stores, they are bare. The shelves are bare. So what we're seeing across the country is happening here in the Midwest, Rob.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I'm going to play you a soundbite. This is Joe Biden back in July talking about how inflation is not going to be an issue in the coming months. Take a listen.
The vast majority of the experts, including Wall Street, are suggesting that it's highly unlikely that it's going to be long-term inflation that's going to get out of hand.
Aaron, what happened?
Well, we just see that the mainstream media runs cover for him constantly. Where is the accountability? It's one lie coming from the podium after the next, whether it's him or Jen Psaki or the press secretaries beneath her. There is no truth to what they say, and there's no accountability behind it. And the American people have had it. When you go to the grocery store, when you feel the pain at the pump, no one in Washington is acknowledging this, and it's a real problem. And that's why you see Joe Biden's approval ratings in the 30s, Kamala Harris's in the 20s, what happened in Virginia, what nearly happened in New Jersey, and all these other tertiary races around the country. People are fed up, and we're about to see a huge red wave because of it.
Yeah. 12 months from now, the midterm elections. All right, let's go to Wisconsin. This trial, this Kyle Rittenhouse trial, really capturing the country's attention, particularly yesterday. The prosecution rested 2 days ago. The defense now making their case. And to me, what is a clear-cut case of self-defense here. I want to play you a soundbite from the judge in this case. Some say the judge is grandstanding here. I don't think that's the case. I think the law is so clear, and this judge has been so clear about what is allowed in that courtroom and what the jury is allowed to hear. Yesterday, he snapped at the prosecution. Take a listen.
I was astonished when you began your examination by commenting on the defendant's post-arrest silence. That's basic law. It's been basic law in this country for 40 years, 50 years. I have no idea why you would do something like that.
The problem is, this is a grave constitutional violation for you to talk about the defendant's silence. You're right on the borderline, and you may be over, but it better stop.
Aaron, you're the attorney on the panel this morning. What do you make of that? How unusual is something like that?
Well, certainly I haven't seen anything to that level, but we're talking about a formerly 17-year-old boy, barely 18, who has a lot on the line here.
Right.
And when you're violating constitutional rights of criminal defendants, it is a massive problem. And what I see right there is one big word: mistrial. And I think that's what the judge is trying to avoid, because when there's another trial and something like that occurs, it's a big tax on the judicial system. It takes a lot of time. And what you have to do here, if you're a prosecutor, is treat these defendants carefully and with kid gloves, especially given the age. And we saw him break down yesterday on the stand. And at least what this judge is doing is abiding by the law, holding up the law here. And we really do seem like it's a clear-cut case for self-defense. We do have that gun charge. He possessed a firearm, allegedly, underage and things of that nature, which could end up being a bit of a problem for him.
Right.
But otherwise, hopefully, he will not be found guilty of the other charges.
So, Carl, to that gun charge, by the way, so he brought it across state lines. So Kenosha's right on the border. His dad lives in Kenosha. He works in Kenosha. It would be like, we're up here in New York. In the tri-state, it's very easy to cross state lines. You're not in one of these big states out in the western part of the country. That's very common. He was underage. He did go across state lines. He was certainly somewhere that he probably shouldn't have been. But every single one of those rioters was somewhere that they shouldn't have been either.
Right.
And by the way, that's not on trial here.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing, too. We've seen some rulings, though, where the judges said you can't call them victims, you can't, or the people who were shot.
Yep.
But there's 2 points to this trial, and I watched a lot of it, which the first one is you're innocent until proven guilty in our system. And in these prosecutors, like their job is to prosecute and make him appear guilty, obviously, for the jury. But they are telling a story as if he is guilty. There's no presumption of innocence from most of the media, definitely these prosecutors, and this judge, which you rightly pointed out to me this morning before we went on, that he was a Democrat-appointed judge. Right. But the other thing, too, is this is a 17-year-old. I mean, how many have 17-year-old kids? He made a life or death decision in a split second. And unless people have, outside of this courtroom, unless you've seen all these documents, been part of this party the entire time, unless you have had to pull the trigger in response to save your own life, I'm not interested in your opinion. So we're going to see where this hashes out, but I think you're right on it, Rob.
No, that's a good point. And these Antifa rioters, and you're right, the judge said you can't call them victims. These people were out there burning, destroying that city, destroying businesses. Yep. Chris, you're in St. Louis. The biggest newspaper there is the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. The biggest newspaper in Wisconsin is the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. They made an editorial decision before this trial started, and this is absolutely shocking. And they published this in a small part of the newspaper, so they didn't really let their readers know they were doing this. They were not going to talk about the backgrounds of any of the victims here. And the defense attorney talked about the backgrounds because they are relevant to the case. These people who were attacking Kyle Rittenhouse, Joseph Rosenbaum, said he was going to kill Rittenhouse. Rosenbaum was out on bail for domestic abuse. He had served time for molesting 5 boys ages 9 to 11, spent time in jail. He lost his life. The other person that lost his life, Anthony Huber, convicted of domestic abuse for strangling his girlfriend. This is the guy that tried to bash Rittenhouse in the head with a skateboard. And Chris, some of the left-leaning media said that a skateboard is not a lethal weapon. Pretty sure it is.
The left's narrative of this whole situation was Kyle Rittenhouse was this white nationalist who came over to cross state lines in order to harass people that were exercising their constitutional right of peaceful assembly. We know that is not the case, and that's the reason why they didn't put the history of the victims in the newspaper to let people know what was really going on. I think it's shameful, and we're seeing this all across the country in journalism where it's slanted towards the left and they don't tell the truth anymore.
Another element, too, and we'll leave it there, but the DA, who wants to be Attorney General, but the district attorney filed charges in just 2 days for something like this, which is completely unorthodox. Normally there is an investigation. It can take weeks. I don't know if this DA didn't see the video. The video is pretty clear to me, but it took just 2 days. It seems like the DA in this case was bowing to the mob, bowing to that post-George Floyd mob that has swept this country over the last several months. Panel, we'll pick this back up top of the hour. A ton to get into this morning, but that's a good start right there. Aaron Elmore, Chris Arps, Carl Higbee, thank you.